Alright everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Honda K-Swap into my 1987 Pontiac Fiero GT. Well, today's package day and it's some big ticket items that we've been waiting on, and I'm not quite sure what's coming today, but it's a big package, it's heavy, and it requires a signature. That can only be the axles. They said they weren't busy and they'd get them out 2 to 3 weeks. Well, it's only been a week or so, so we'll see at the end of this video if the axles are here or not. Could be the other spot calipers for the rear brakes, but we'll see. So let me show you what we got. When did we get these? Yesterday. Hold up. All right, let's see what's in package number 1. We kind of already know what that one is. Nice Alpha. All right. All right, well, what we have here, part number 7993R. All right, well, there you go. Now this, as stated a minute ago, is an 11 1/4 inch disc brake off the rear of like a 1990 Chrysler LeBaron. I think I looked it up as the 2.5 turbo with 5 lug with vented disc brakes, which I believe is the 15-inch wheels. But this is the rotor. So, rotors are in. You know what we're going to be doing today. Now, we covered this in a previous video, but who doesn't like to open up? If anybody's curious, that is the part number for the disc brakes that we're using from Willwood. Alright, what's killing us on the Fiero when we're using the Chrysler brake rotors is that they're 0.865 of an inch thick. And when I was looking for calipers for the rear of the Fiero that incorporate a parking brake, the vast majority of those can't accept a rotor that thick. You know, we're talking, most of them are like 0.6 or so, 0.5, anywhere through that area. So these rotors are really thick, and that has killed us on options for this upgrade and including the parking brake on the rear. So what we're doing, because the car is mid-engined, we need equal sized brakes front and rear to maintain the proper brake balance. So those of you guys out there with your Fieros that are putting on really big brakes on in the front, I guarantee you go stomping on that brake pedal hard enough and you're going to lock up the fronts. The weight transfers to the front, but there's no engine transmission up there to really press down on those wheels, on those tires, which contact patch on the ground. So you might notice that a lot of rear or mid-engine cars, I would say mid-engine cars, like the Ferrari 355 F1, the back brakes are actually significantly larger than the front brakes. And the very reason for that is the back of the car will have the most grip available because that's where the vast majority of the weight is. And since that's a mid-engine, that weight is slightly in front of the back wheels, so they'll get the most grip when you're braking hard. So what my goal here is on this project is equal sized brakes front to rear. I may have to upgrade the master cylinder. I just need to verify with Willwood on the piston diameter on these calipers, and if the master cylinder that we have on the Fiero is a significantly large enough volume. If not, we might be replacing that as well. Now these are Willwood's what they call GM metric D52 calipers, I believe. And they are dual piston, billet aluminum. They weigh like nothing. And then they look so good. And I'm so jealous Brian is getting these brakes. Yeah, I could only dream about brakes like these. Now, all said and done, and this is, transparency, The front brakes, we got about 500 bucks into them. The rear, well, that's where it's going to get expensive. These were 500 bucks for the pair. The spot calipers, which should be here any day, those were $500. Yeah, 50 bucks on brake rotors, which we got from Rock Auto because 2 rotors were cheaper than 1 at my local parts store. So we're looking $1,100 or so on the back brakes. So it adds up. But man, this car is going to be able to stop on a dime. All right, one of the other things that we're going to have to look at doing really soon on the Blur is we're going to have to make an exhaust. Now I'm going to have to lop off the flange on the exhaust manifold and put a V-band. I'll insert a picture here, and it shows that the exhaust dumps practically on the 88's rear sway bar. So we're going to have to modify that a little bit and route the exhaust. I'm probably going to run it over to the driver's side, U-bend, single muffler, and then 1 tailpipe out the passenger side. I have 3-inch pipe and I have a 3-inch muffler, but Hondas are really loud, very raspy with a 3-inch exhaust. The side effect to that is they make significantly more power. NA, we're talking 10, 15 wheel. So I guess that's significant. They make more power with a 3-inch exhaust, but they're really loud. Now with that said, I have been practicing and I've come a long way, I think, with my welding skills. Normally on pipe this thin, I blow a hole right through it. So I've been practicing my welds, and I think that's adequate enough to make the exhaust for Brian's car. All right, that said, let's get to work. Once it warms up. All right, well that was Brian wanting to check up on my new welding skills because I showed him my new welds. And I told him I have a high, medium degree of confidence that I'll be able to weld up his exhaust. So I better get practicing. Curve to the left a little bit. That's hot. I might actually be able to do this. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Honda K-Swap into my 1987 Pontiac Fiero GT, affectionately known as the Blur. Alright, well today is a great and special day. Why do you ask? We got parts. Not just any parts. We have a whole nother box full of parts. But let me show you what we have right here. It's like Christmas. Boom! 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 Yes! Yeah! Oh, yeah! This is exciting. We gotta get these on. But before we go putting these $1,000 axles in, we gotta see what other goodies we got. All right, UJ bend, 2.5 inch. That's the size of the exhaust we're going to be running on the car while it's in A. We spoke about doing 3 inch, but honestly, the car would be so obnoxiously loud. I decided to go 2.5. So, nice mandrel bent, vibrant pipe. 2.5 inch V-band, and this is the good kind. And so what do you mean by that? Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm going to show you. V-bands will leak. They just will. But the difference here is, let me come around. All right, the difference with these V-bands, as you can see right here, is they're stepped. Can you see that lip? So it's a mechanical fit between the two, so it makes it way less prone to leaking. So that's why we went with it. You always want to get the male-female version. As you can see, this one's got a groove, that one's got a lip. All right, as for the solution for the throttle body intake situation, we picked up a 2001 Honda Accord 2.4 liter throttle body, cable operated, and this will bolt right onto the TSX intake manifold. I will have to figure out a way to get the throttle cable to work, just because the TSX, the throttle cable mounts to the intake, where most other throttle bodies that I've seen from Honda have the bracket mounted onto the throttle body. So I may have to contact Antonio and have him send me that throttle cable bracket, or we'll see what we can cobble fabble up. Cobble fabble up. But I already tried this, works perfect. I really want to go fit one of these axles, so let's get to work. Now we'll go back and tighten these bolts up that go through the rear spindle. You have to use a torque angle adapter on your torque wrench. So, but you also have to do it when there's weight on the suspension. Otherwise, you preload the bushings, and you don't want that. So, we'll have to put that on the list to do later. All right. Well, there we go. Got plenty of gap down here. New axles are in all the way up to there. Fully seated there. Got our gap down there. It's still a little tight. I may still end up shortening that piece right there. And that'll effectively lift the sway bar up. And that's it. Axles are in. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Axles are in and they fit. Everything seems to be okay with them. So looks like I measuring them like 6 or 7 times paid off. Next, let's get the engine in the car. All right, well, we just got another Fiero delivery, and this one is just a parts car that I'm going to have to strip for the drivetrain.